Jackson Hastings has handed Saints a golden opportunity to figure out their spine. Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to 10 Yards Back. This is my preview of this Thursday's opener. Leeds Rhinos versus St Helens. The first time that Saints have returned to Headingley since the embarrassment of the playoffs last year. They all left to right. Now, the team sheets are in. Both coaches got a bit of a selection question. Blackie Miller's out for Leeds. Fergus McCormack slotted in there last week. Perfect. Job done. Problem solved. Saints have got two problems. One is they're running out of props. And two is they now need to figure out a whole new spine. I think that Leeds are actually the perfect team to have this problem against. And I'll explain why. First off, the forward situation. Noah Booth is out. He's got one of those extended HIA breaks because he unfortunately got a few too many in a short period of time. So Saints running out of props. That means that they're left with a lot of second rows probably filling in that gap. I think that's fine because the Leeds forwards, big lads though they are, typically play that sort of marauding, push forward, agile, sort of dynamic forwards anyway. So I think that, you know, having that sort of heavy second row influence in the props could work out okay. All right, I'm not too worried about that one. The real problem for Paul Rowley is his spine. Jackson Hastings is out, which means he's now got 4, maybe 5 puzzle pieces to fit into those 3. You've got Jack Wellesby, Tristan Saylor, Johnny Lomax, George Whitby, and some are going to throw Harry Robertson in there, but I think for this one, he's probably better sitting out. I'm a big fan of Robbo, but for this one, I think he needs to stay in the centres. Now, my go-to line on this is that Wellesby should be at fullback, Saylor in at 6, Whitby or Lomax in at 7. Everyone should play their shirt number, right? However, old Moneyball Paul has just re-signed Tristan Saylor. He's just extended his contract. Great for Saints because he's by far their best player. However, this probably suggests that Jack Wellesby is not going to see that fullback spot for the rest of the year. The reason Leeds, for me, is the perfect test here is that Leeds' attack is quite, I'm going to say predictable. It's tough. It's tough to deal with. No one can quite deal with it, but it is predictable. They kick about 20 metres on average. So each of the sort of kicks in general play average out to be about 20, 25 metres. Compare that to their opponents generally, who have sort of 30, 35 metre kicks. You can see that what Leeds are trying to do is not welly it downfield and pin you there, for which you might need a really strong fullback. What they're trying to do is kick it high and short and smack you with their defensive line so that they can sort of have a little bit more of a broken play, so they can keep you sort of in that middle 60-metre range and then strike from probably your own 40 metres once they've pinned you there. Now, Leeds do chew up metres in the kick return in general, but most of their points aren't scored from within their opponent's 20. They only spend about 13% of their time down in their opponent's 20. Most of their points are scored from distance. They strike. And that's why I think this is a really good opportunity for Saints to try something new. Because if I'm right, and what Leeds are sort of trying to do is use the forwards, use the halves to set up that back line to score some tries, you can see here with the spread of tries and assists that most of it is over to one edge. Most of it's over to the Mike Acevo edge, the Jake Connor edge, the Ash Hanley edge, with Brodie Croft sort of making up that sort of 75% of the field. Ryan Hall and Newman, whilst, you know, still contributing, aren't really doing all that much in the grand scheme of things. So this gives you the opportunity, I think, if you're Paul Rowley, to keep Sailor at fullback where you clearly want him. Stick Johnny Lomax in at standoff. When he was number 6 for Saints, that was by far his best position in recent years. Put George Whitby in at scrum half. And here's where it gets interesting. Put Jack Welsby on the wing. I said it. Put Jack Welsby on the wing. It solves it all because against Leeds, you don't need someone who can chew up meters from distance. You need someone who can beat that first defender, who can beat the second defender, who can really wriggle out of a tough spot. Jack Welsby can be that person on that Mike Acevo wing because Kyle Felt isn't in the team this week, I don't think. Murphy and Dagnall are great at chewing up the meters, but I don't think that's what you need this week. Stick Welsby on the wing, and here's the other kicker. Robertson's in the other centre. He can do that as well. He's probably the best tackle buster that Saints have. Have these two as your main kick returners, and I think Saints can be really competitive against Leeds this week. That being said, I do think that Leeds win, but I don't think it's going to be the walkover that everybody thinks it is. I've got 24-16 on this one. Leeds just pipping it. I think Jack Welsby needs to do something different. He was always a utility player. Clearly, Rowley doesn't want him at fullback. Stick him on the wing where Bevan French played for a season, remember? Let's see what he can do out there. What do you think? Where's Jack Welsby's best position? Have I overlooked Leeds in this? Am I underestimating Mike Acevo's ability to just fucking knock fellas out the way? All right, let me know what you think. Enjoy the match.